Hi everybody, take two. I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. My Wi-Fi just got cut off. So I'm so sorry. If you could guys put your comments again so we can trace you back from our first go. Good evening everybody. Welcome back to Atomic Self-Love Project. I was halfway through a story and the Wi-Fi just got cut off. Technology for you. So please say hello again on the chat where you're hailing from. Welcome back, Nicola, Helen, Janine. Hi from WA. Oh no, sorry, Northern Territory. Azra, welcome back. I remember you. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I was just in the middle of the story about Friendster. Let me continue. Friendster is like the social media before Facebook was invented. This is about 14, 15 years ago. And the story, the context of the story was when someone tells you something amazing about yourself, I believe that that's not a coincidence. It's actually a miracle that was given to you, and you need to grab that miracle and do something with it. And I'll tell you how I did that. So 14 years ago, I was in a marriage that was about to dissolve. It was in shambles, right? And I was telling that it was a mutually abusive marriage because I was angry as well. I had festering anger from all my trauma when I was a child. But a friend of mine from the Philippines where I was born invited me to this thing called Friendster. It's like Facebook. You put a photo, you friend people, you put some comments. And so I was like, okay, I can do this. So I put my photo up and then I connected with some old friends and I started checking out the posts and whatnot. And then someone, I can't even remember who they are, right, for the life of me, but someone saw the profile photo that I put up, and they just said, this is what they said. And it must have been the time that God had assigned for me to hear that, because this is what they said. Oh, and oh my God, Grace, like, is that you? You've not changed a bit. You have always been such a beautiful, beautiful person. And I was floored by their comment, because by the time I was reading this, I'd already had years of just lack of self-esteem, lack of self-love, just like doubting myself, like I just did not have any positivity. And for someone to say that to me, I was like, I almost fell off my chair. And luckily I was open. I was so open when I received that message, and I was just like, that is so true. Like, I have always been a good person. And I wrote this in my book, Become the Woman of Your Dreams. It's a memoir I released last month. I wrote about this moment because there was voices in my head, and I was saying to myself, that's so true. I'm a good person. And this other voice was saying, so? And I was trying to argue with them, saying, well, it means I'm a good person. And so it was really trying to self-sabotage me. But I was just so open for love and for positivity. And so what I want to say to you is, when you're looking for your purpose and when you're finding the time to be still and to have that quiet and finding the gratitude, be open to your angels that are sent to you. Be open to signs of beautiful nature, signs of smiles from children, signs of smiles from strangers, and even people just trying to help you randomly for no reason at all, like unexpectedly. Like, just be open so that you feel that inner spark, because your connectedness to nature and to people will spark you back up. There are so many, we know of so many celebrities, especially, no matter how talented and how famous and how wealthy they become, they tend to lose a sense of purpose, because it's that disconnect from the true essence of who they are. And here's the thing with purpose is that for you to really sustain your purpose, your higher self, there has to be two things that should be at play there, which is what's in it for me for what I'm doing and who am I being now, and what's in it for other people. How does it benefit the bigger community? So, for example, you're a nurse. So, what's in it for you? Well, you get paid well. You have a stable job. It's something that you love even when you were a kid. You love to look after people. So it really it excites you to do that kind of job. But if the only reason is just for you and there's no reason for the bigger community, like, then you might sustain that purpose for a while, but eventually you start saying, what is my life purpose? Because the light dims eventually. So when it dims, all it's saying is that you go look for your spark again. You look slowly, you look carefully, and don't rush it, and just go back to that stillness. And that's really the essence of where is my purpose. It is inside. So hopefully that's a little bit of an insight for you. Let me know. Hi, Sean. Nice to see you here tonight. Hey, Lisa. Not Leanne, sorry. Sandy. Hey, Ristine from Brisbane. How are you, love? Okay, so I am going to get started with Divine Feminine Affirmations. Now, I am so passionate about going deep into these divine feminine affirmations, because affirmations are not just something you read and then it's not like a thought that you let it pass. It's actually something you study and you connect with it, because whatever the affirmation that you get, you're embodying that. It means that it is inside of you. It is part of your spark. So let's get started with who's the first one? Nicola Inglese. Is that how you say your name, your last name, Nicola Inglese? It's very very interesting. Let me know what is your nationality. Alrighty, so Nicola, the affirmation that we have for you tonight is Diana, the Queen of the Wilderness. The language of the natural world is a frequency of love. This is my mother tongue. Diana, the Queen of the Wilderness. The language of the natural world is a frequency of love. This is my mother tongue. Diana is actually the huntress saint. So if you remember Princess Diana, from the royal family in England, when she was killed in a car accident, they used to, the irony of her name, because she was killed being hunted by the paparazzi, and her name actually stands for being the huntress, like Diana, the huntress, the Queen of the Wilderness. You see, she's got a bow and arrow. And Nicola, what this card is saying to you is that your love comes from, you're very connected to nature, and it's probably something that you already know. It's probably something that you might not even aware of, because sometimes what's so close to us could easily be blocked by, I don't know, by some outside preconditioned belief system, or you would already be aware of this. Either way, this one is saying to you that your mother tongue, the language of your love, really can be seen in nature. And nature is like the people, the plants, the weather itself, the storm, the lightning. And it's that when you are connected to it, when you're close to it, your inner joy comes out, your spark comes out, you become the powerful woman that you are. So if you haven't been close to nature, this is calling you to go out into nature more. And if you're someone who's already working in nature with animals, or if you're a horticulturist, for example, it's calling you to stay there, and also to really expand the way that you serve people. Because when you are you're naturally powerful in nature, and you have the capacity to invite others to come in with you, you can educate them. And so it becomes a collective energy. Let me know if that is something that serves you tonight. Now let's move on to Azra says energies. So yeah, so I think that's the comment. So beautiful. Okay. So Helen Bowyer. Yeah. Hi, Grace from England. It's nighttime for you. You're still up. No, it's morning time. I'm sorry. So that would be 6:30 in the morning, 6:39. Wow. Thank you for being here. Okay, so Helen, my card for you, for your divine feminine affirmation tonight is my Bago, the warrior saint. I am a warrior of love. My devotion attracts resources and support. I love this card. So she's a warrior saint, because when she was very young, she was about 12 or 14 years old, somewhere around there, her village was being attacked by terrorists, and she had this vision, a holy vision that called her and told her that you are meant to defend your tribe. And so she went to her elderlies and said, and told them that she had that vision and she needs to gather people to come with her and defend the tribe. And they did. She gathered 40 men, and unfortunately all of the 40 men died, and she survived, and she went on to really champion the cause of we cannot give up our tribe just because terrorists wants to overpower us. And so they were able to free themselves, and she became that warrior saint. She was known for her fearlessness. And so Helen, it's calling you to be fearless. So if you are feeling a little bit vulnerable, just the opposite of fearless, just remember vulnerability is courage, and that is being fierce. It's actually being fearless. So find that sweet spot where you are in your personal power, where you can tell the truth without having to sacrifice to sacrifice the civility or the dignity of the relationship that you have with the person that you are talking to. It could be your boss, it could be your employees if you're a business person, it could be your partner. And if there's something that you need to stand for and you want to stand for, this could be an issue that you've had for a while now, just find a sweet spot of knowing how to be in your power and share your truth in a win-win way. You know, I'm running a 30-day course called the Atomic Self-Love Project. It's starting this weekend on Saturday night. And so I invite you guys to find out more about that by booking a free breakthrough call on the link above. Actually, you might not have the link now because we got disconnected. So let me just quickly put that link through for your free personal breakthrough. If I could actually comment here. Am I allowed to comment in my own show? I am. There you go. Paste it and enter. Amazing. So Helen, I hope that's given you some insight, because she is a beautiful saint. You're a beautiful, beautiful goddess. Now let me move on to, after Helen, we've got Diane Radley. Hi, hello. Sandy has SH. Sandish. Okay, cool. Yes, I'm feeling you. I love your profile photo. Okay, so the affirmation that I have for you, Sandy, I love that name. I have a friend. Well, she's a friend. She's actually my daughter's ex-boyfriend's mom, and she's so beautiful because she always sends my daughter, messages on Christmas Day, on special occasions, just to tell her that she misses my daughter, and I think that's really sweet, and it's just my heart expands. And Sandy, for you, it is Rita of Caskia, the patroness of impossible causes. I am miraculous. My prayers create powerful channels of possibility. So Saint Rita of Caskia in Italy, the patroness of impossible causes. I am miraculous. My prayers create powerful channels of possibility. And what this saying is that when you find the peace, really that nothingness, and I hate to use the word mindfulness because it's really it's a terrible word, because what we're trying to do is not to be mindful, but to be thoughtless and to be still. So when you find that in your meditation or in your prayer or in your stillness, you will get to a place inside of you that whatever it is that you desire, the reason that you desire it is because you know that it is already there, given to you. So you are a miracle worker, Sandy, and you know that because it indicates actually that when you were younger, you would have instances where just out of nowhere things just came true for you, and it's because you just have a knowing. And intuition is really it's the knowing without the knowing. So it's just there. It's just present. And you seem to have a very strong sense of that. And so get back to that sense of you, because if that's something that you are missing, that being a miraculous worker, even if, whether for yourself or for your loved ones or for your friends, you are a miraculous worker. So if someone is needing you right now, like your presence, your advice, your guidance, your strength, channel to them what you have. The knowing without knowing. That's stable, it's just that constant. It's faith, really. Faith is like knowing the presence of something without needing the evidence for it. And that's just miraculous knowing, just like Saint Rita of Cascia in Italy. I hope that served you tonight, Sandy. And Leanne. Love your butterflies. Okay, so I'm just trying to look at your very small profile photo. It's a group of people, 1, 2, 3, 4 people. And Leanne. So your card tonight is Anandamaima. You actually have 2 cards. They jumped out. So they just, they're for you. So Anandamaima, the joy-permeated mother. I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. And Yemoya, the goddess of all that flows. I am an ocean of creative energy. I give birth to what exists within me. So Anandamaima, the joy-permeated mother. I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. And Yemoya, the goddess of all that flows. I am an ocean of creative energy. I give birth to what exists within me. Yemoya she's what's the in the water that swims? A beautiful a mermaid. She's a mermaid. So this is saying the fluidity of your evolution. Like, how the buoyancy of your life can be found in a body of water. So if you're feeling like you're stuck, you need to get closer to a body of water just to get back into the buoyancy that you have within you, because lightness, which is the opposite of gravity, is where you can find the true power that really will light you up on an everyday basis, because you are the ocean of creative energy. Whatever you want to do, you have to come from the buoyancy, from the lightness. And so go out there and feel that. Be one with the ocean, the river, or and just have that connection, because you are buoyant, you are light. Now Anandamaima, the joy-permeated mother, she was married very young, but her husband died. And she belongs to the this is Hindu goddess Anandamaima. And I can't remember, her husband was one of the 3 gods. You know how you have Hindu gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. But people would come to her for comfort, because she never changes. Like, even when she grew old, she always had this essence of the sameness, the self. And it's not because her skin didn't change, her hair didn't go gray, but it's because the self that never changes. She embodied that from a very young. She had become conscious from a very young age. Remember, we have 2 things inside of us: the self and the awareness. And the self is separated because we form that once we are, when we start forming our ego, really. Research will tell you that by the age of 13, your ego is fully formed. And what that means is you already have a distinct identification of what you are and who you are. Like, you want to be a nurse, or you are from a wealthy family, or you are smart, or you're someone who's really good in sports. And that just goes on and on and on in life. You could become more identified with yourself in the form as a woman who's got kids, or a woman who is really passionate about something. So that's just the form. The other side of us is the formless, which is the awareness that just does not change at all. It's always the same. Like we might grow old, we might, I don't know, we might dye our hair. The awareness does not change, but the self changes. Now, Ananda Ma, she might have a changing form, but she is very connected to her awareness. So that when people would come to her for comfort, and when people would come to her for, just for that sense of security, she's always there to embody the, that feeling that you are, the essence of who you are is never changing. There is love in there. And so tonight for you, Leanne, if you are feeling so much change, and I know there's been so much in 2020 for all of us, go out there and live your life in a buoyant way, and just connect to the self that never changes. And if it's a little bit tricky, give yourself some time. Remember the stillness, and just go back to your inner child. I can show, I do inner child work, and if you want to have that kind of experience, let's talk. Feel free to click on the link that I've put in one of the comments below now, not above, because we had to take two because of the Wi-Fi cutting out. And I hope that's given you some insight tonight. Now we are going to move on to, Nicholas says, and embrace it. Sue Sullivan, please tell me something amazing about me, please. I would love to, Sue. I mean, I don't have to tell you, you already know, but I would love to know something amazing about you. So that will be my pleasure. Now let's have a look what we have tonight, Sue. I'm looking at your profile photo of a beautiful, gorgeous little baby. Cute. Okay, so Sue, for you we've got Enheduanna, the High Priestess. I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. So this High Priestess, Sue, is calling you to stick by who you are. Like in life, it's easy for us to sometimes question the things that we might have said, the things that we might have done, the things that might have happened. And we have these words that we use often: could've, would've, should've. Now this affirmation here is saying that your soul, is a legacy of love. So whatever it was that had been part of what you've done, who you've been with, what you have said, all of it was a legacy of love. All of it was a part of your bigger evolution. And it's the essence of being connected to that belief, to that faith, that your soul is a legacy of love, that you can, that's the way that you can really get connected to your higher purpose, to your higher self all of the time. Because the more that you live in that soul as a legacy of love, then the more that you are living every day in a state that's just blissful. So I hope that's reminded you tonight of how amazing you are, because your soul. And just one interesting thing that I had to remind myself the other day, and just indulge me here before I move on to the next card, is the difference between the soul and the spirit. And I know you guys probably already know, because we're all in the Spiritual Events Directory and we love this stuff. But I had to remind myself that just because my spirit is really serving me at the moment, in this time of my life, I'm just having, a most grateful, most loving time in my family, in my life, in my business. It's beautiful. But I had to still remind myself that the experience of my spirit is still the experience of my spirit, and it's still really not exactly my soul. because there's a slight difference, because the soul is just that constant oneness that is one with the universe, and it never ever changes. And our spirit actually can have different energies, you know. There are days when we are so highly spirited, we're just all over the place. We're like, you know, over here, over there, and we're just so high energy. And there are days when our spirit just wants to chill right out. And there are days when our spirit is really fierce. We want to defend our family, you know what I mean? So I had to remind myself that I have a spirit, but also my soul is really, at the end of the day, we come back to our soul. We go back to our soul when our bodies are finished in this earth. And so, Sue, for you, beautiful card. Like, your soul is a legacy of love. Like, I'd like to think that my soul is a legacy of love. All of our souls is a legacy of love. So let's move on now to Sue, thanks for sending those stars. Diane Martinovich Radley. How are you, Diane? And I'm looking at your profile photo. You have a red shirt on. I'm very visual person. If you haven't noticed, some of my family members tell me that I have a photographic memory. It's not quite true, not 100% true, but it tends to be that way most of the times. It just works. The brain just works that way. So, all right. So Diane, the Huntress name. Wouldn't it be interesting if Diane comes up in your affirmation? Okay. So we've got tonight Hestia, the goddess of sanctuary. No matter where I am, for you, Diane, no matter where I am home. The most sacred sanctuary is found within me. Hestia, the goddess of sanctuary. No matter where I am home. The most sacred sanctuary is found within me. So how are you feeling at the moment, Diane? So this is sort of like a card that kind of alludes to, I talk about a life inventory model. So let's just put this in context. So in the life inventory model that I teach, it's inside the Atomic Self-Love Project as well, the 30-day program that is starting real soon next weekend. And if you want to find out more about that, to see if it's something that you want to get involved in, book a time in the link that I've put in the comment below, so we can have a free one-on-one and just to see if this is something that's suited for you. But the life inventory model is, a system that I used when I was telling you about my near-death experience at the beginning of the show tonight. When I was awakened to the realization that I was not living my calling, my purpose. And so I had to radically change the landscape of my reality. And how I did that was through what I call now a life inventory model. And within that is really just looking at the people, places, and experiences that are currently in your life. Now, when I talk about the places, and this is where that card is relevant, the places in there is not necessarily, it can be, but not necessarily an actual physical address or event or venue. A lot of times those places are emotional and mental. We get into our story. We go into the story of stories of our lives. It could be that your story is, I had a falling out with my best friend, and I really felt sad about that, and therefore I can't move on with my life, or just stories that have affected us gravely at one point, and then for some reason we've attached ourselves to it emotionally and mentally, so that unconsciously we tend to go back to it to give ourselves that reason, aka excuse, for how we are feeling right now. And so it's a reminder that, hang on, your sanctuary is your sacred sanctuary, and it is really up to you to nurture that sanctuary and make that a heaven for yourself. You are a goddess that has your own heaven, and give yourself that place because it is in there. It's about, it's about clearing the space, the emotional space and the mental space, so you can go back to that sanctuary, the heavenly sanctuary that is in you. You are a goddess of sanctuary. And so what's really exciting about that card for you, Diane, is that when you walk around in a room, like literally I'm talking about a room or whatever, like a house, and when you have that essence that nothing, not much, not a lot shakes you, not many people can shake you up, because you just have that stability, that sanctuary inside of you. What you do for other people is that you become contagious, so that you actually will repel people who are, let's just say, I was gonna use the word a-hole, but I just did. But you know what I mean? Like, you actually repel people who are negative, and you attract people that are, very similar to you, because you just magnetize them, because you embody the essence of the heavenly sanctuary that's inside of you. Alrighty, so let us now move on to, let me just go back up to the comments, because I get lost in these. It moves up really quickly. I think the next one was, I just don't want to lose the, just bear with me, ladies. So we had Diane and then Kimberly. I think Kimberly was, you were here the other time, but I didn't get to pull your card out for you. So I'm so glad you're here tonight. Yeah, Kimberly says, may I have a card too, please? Thank you. Okay. And I'm looking at your profile photo. You have a red singlet on, and you actually have a jumper. And your card is, oh wow, the cosmic egg, the divine feminine. I hold the universe within me. I am the force of an ever-expanding love. The cosmic egg, the divine feminine. I hold the universe within me. I am the force of an ever-expanding love. In yoga philosophy, and in other philosophies as well, they do teach that the world is egg-shaped. Even before we all started, before we became humans in the earth, we are all in an egg-shaped place, and it's that the cosmic egg. And your affirmation, Kim, if I may call you Kim, is that you are the embodiment of the entire divine cosmic egg. You hold the universe within you, and you are the force of an ever-expanding love. It's profound. It's profound. I met a shaman about 9 days ago, and his name's Raymond Richards. And Raymond's actually now served, 6,000, up to 6,000 plus people doing shamanic sessions. And in his sessions, there's one thing that really happens, is the unconditional love. So the way he says it is this: there's unconditional love, and there's everything else. And this cosmic egg, when it says I am the force of an ever-expanding love, I think it's just so special when you get that card, because if you think about what's going on in the world right now, like what's going on in DC, in Washington DC, in America, when everyone's just fighting and falling apart. And I know in many different parts of the world as well, like they're just large scale, right? Like I know for a fact, when I was growing up in the Philippines, things like that used to happen hours from my province in a smaller scale, but the same thing, people fear for their life. There's guns, there's violence, and in spite of all these troubles, when you know that deep inside you is just an ever-expanding unconditional love, when you have the capacity to always connect to that, then I want to live next to you. I want to be your neighbor, because I like to know that I know how it feels to be connected to that. I am, we all are a work in progress, and I try, every day my best to love as much as I am capable. And it's an ever expanding love. The whole cosmic force is within you, Kimberly. it's something to really think about. Like this card is something to really think about, and I really urge you to just put that in your journal and write it down. I am the force of an ever expanding love. The question is, where else can you expand your love? Sometimes the people that you are currently not enjoying, you may have to expand your love to them because they most probably need love. People that are in fear, that sometimes they seem like they're attacking you, it's because they want love. They just don't know how to ask for it. And that is, I've had experiences like that. Just the one thing they need is love, but the way that they're expressing that need for love is they attack you. And so when you are the cosmic force of ever expanding love, you have that capacity. So expand it, extend it out, spread the joy, spread the love. Beautiful card. Thank you for asking. So the next is Kylie Gardner. Kimberly says, I have been very thankful to find what my life purpose is, and I am now starting to learn and train to live my life purpose. Amazing. I'm so blessed to hear that from you. I would love for you to share with us a little bit more if you feel, if you want to indulge us. But yeah, it's good to be in that space, isn't it? It's just it's beautiful. So Kylie, and I'm looking at your profile photo, you have a black singlet on. Alrighty, what do we have for Kylie tonight? Lalita, the red goddess. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light. Lalita, the red goddess. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light. So Lalita was once thought to be a little bit out of her mind because she was always so happy. And she is a Hindu goddess, and she was always so happy to the point that it didn't make sense to a lot of people. But this goddess is really, it's about finding the fun in the process. And the creative process always has to be fun, and there's nothing else in life but creativity, really. I mean, we invent the word productivity, which is really how much can you produce according to a set of guidelines. Okay, that's fine, but when you want to reach for your higher potential, which is an ever evolving process, it has to be a fun process. Because when you stop having fun, the genius is gone, and then you lose sight of your spark. So Kylie, it's about being playful, and it's about knowing that when you are having fun in the process, trust that is working for you, and don't have any expectations, because it's not about the destination, right? It's about the journey. And when you're having fun right now and you're being playful, that evolution and that growth is right there. You just have, it's just the ripple effect to other people. You wouldn't even know the extent of it, because if you are being playful in a particular project, in a particular scenario, and you have people that are involved in it and they go home at the end of the day, you don't know how much you've affected them, but what they do from that energy that you've given to them from your playfulness and joyfulness, they then reiterate that to other people and affect other people. So the ripple effect of creativity is really, unfortunately, unmeasurable, because we are not meant to know how much we've affected other people, because that's just the nature of life. We all create, we co-create here. We co-create one another, we co-create our environment, and we are not meant to measure. We are meant to play and have fun. I hope that's given you some insight tonight. We are going to move on to, hi Jackie. We've got Sandy and Jackie. It's your turn for a card. Jackie Campusano de Lara. And your profile photo is with you and your partner, or with someone. Cool. Alrighty. So tonight we've got this card for you, Jackie, and it is Queen Esther, the Morning Star. My ego is in service of my soul, and I trust my soul's divine timing. Queen Esther, the morning star. My ego is in service of my soul, and I trust my soul's divine timing. So if you remember, I was talking not long ago, a few minutes ago, probably 10 minutes ago, about me having to remind myself that I am a spirit, but I also I also belong to a universal soul. And so the spirit is a bit of a ever-changing energy. And that's the ego that's being talked about here, the good ego. It's that ever-changing energy, and it is in service of your universal oneness. So it's reminding you that at every moment in your life, how you choose to be is really feeding the oneness that you have in the universe. It's expanding your soul, because as we know, our soul expands, and we connect, and we contribute to the consciousness, the cosmic consciousness, because we are not meant to stay like this. Like 100 years ago, we were completely different kind of human being. We went through different eras. There was the Industrial Revolution. We are now in a new age, digital revolution. So we're not always going to stay the way that we are as human beings. We are ever expanding consciously and cosmically. So this card is reminding you that your spirit, your good ego, is at any given point, whatever it is doing, it is feeding that soul. So you want to feed that soul with nothing but beautiful stuff. So one of the very mindful things that you can perhaps take a look at is, this is also me talking to myself, it actually really applies to me, is when you are feeling tired and exhausted, take care of yourself, because we tend to, especially women, we do so much. Women primarily have the language of service is a language of love. If it's not your number one, it's your number two or number three. And so we over service to others, and so that our cups are empty, and we become you could be exhausted, lack of sleep, or whatever's going on for you, and you're still pushing yourself. But just be reminded that when you push and your cup is getting emptier and emptier, your spirit is actually deflated. So you want that spirit to be fed, to be nurtured, so it can serve the soul, right? So you really want your spirit to be in service of your soul. So fill your cup. Always operate from an overflowing cup. Go out there and do some self-loving, like the good old pampering, or even just quiet time. Like in this time of COVID, we can't really do much. And so enjoy yourself, watch a movie, or just have a sleep. Oh my goodness. People say sleep is underrated. Sometimes it is, but it really is necessary to rest and rejuvenate your body, right? Even to just have like a power nap. So Jackie, I hope that has served you tonight. Now let's move on to Laura Lou Blondie. Hi, Laura Lou. Okay, so I will pull out a card for you. I'm looking at your profile photo. You've got some sunnies on. Let's actually shuffle the cards in a, that noisy way. Cool. All right. So Laura Lou, the card that you have for tonight is Sekhmet, the red lady. I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving voice to it. Wow, this is a fiery card. Sekhmet, the red lady. I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving voice to it. Well, most of us are women here, I believe. Who here has ever been, and I think all of us have been, we've been called out for being feisty. We've been called out for being moody, for being just high opinionated. So sometimes we get put in a box as a woman who's got a lot of opinion and being feisty and fierce. But you know what? Anger is not always a bad thing. Now this card here is telling you that you cannot suppress what is wanting to come out. So if it is there, it's better out than in, right? Now, it's really a matter of responsibility and how you're going to express that anger, because anger can come out. It's okay. As long as you are not hurting people in the process of expressing that anger. You know, you're not yelling at people, you're not insulting them. You're actually, and I'm an expert at this because I was a person who was addicted to my anger years and years ago. And to express anger is really to transcend that emotion of wanting to attack. It's really to accept that, hang on, I'm upset. This is not sitting right with me. And it's something that I need to talk about. And I need to find a place and a time when you are ready, you person I'm talking to, whoever that may be, when you have the space and the time to also discuss this. And then you come up with an agreement of, because that person you're talking to might say, well, I'm upset as well. And if we talk right now, we might clash and we might just end up, tearing each other's hair or whatever that is. So you agree that you are in the space, and if you're not, you set a time and date in the future. So this is part now of conflict resolution, and conflict resolution is a big part of the 4 pillars that I teach for you in the Atomic Self-Love project that is coming up this weekend. Again, ladies, if you want to be a part of a 30-day Atomic Self-Love project, where really it's about creating lifelong relationships and personal, non-personal, business relationships for you, so that you can live a life that's fully motivated by your full potential. Click on the link that I've put in the comments and book a free breakthrough call with me. Let's see if we have an alignment, if this is something that's really gonna propel you forward. So Laura Lou, Sekhmet is your card, and I am pure strength, and I honor my anger by giving voice to it. So be responsible, but never, ever, ever suppress yourself. The reason that you feel that way is probably because you have suppressed that many, many times in the past. So now it's time for you to access a divine way of expressing being not in congruence with something, or being angry even. That's just part of being a divine woman, just accepting who you are and what you stand for in a loving, responsible way. Now, I am so aware of the time. This has been so much fun, ladies, and I would love to just read one more card from my friend Janine, because Janine, I haven't seen you for years. Janine, how are you? So I'm gonna actually read one last card from my friend Janine. And that card for you tonight, my love, is Zhu Xuanjing, the mystic of peace. I am peace when my mind is clear, the way is clear. Zhu Xuanjing, the mystic of peace. I am peace when my mind is clear, the way is clear. So this card is very clear, and it's about finding the clarity that you know how to access. And that clarity is all about decluttering. It's all about creating space in your mind and in your heart for clarity to come in. And how you create that space is to just go back into the stillness and be patient with yourself. Now, so Janine, for example, if you haven't developed the habit of and I think you would be a journaler. If anyone here who doesn't journal, go and do journaling every morning as part of your power routine, what you're grateful for, what your intentions are, and affirm yourself at least 3 times every day. Because what happens is that the more that you reprogram the way that you're talking to yourself and the way that you're creating that space at the beginning of every day for your higher self to come in, that will come into you. But you've got to be committed to the process of creating that space for yourself, because no one else will. No, everyone else is always going to want and need from you, because you can, and you have the power to give, the power to help. But you can't really, you can't keep doing that if you're not filling your cup every morning. And that is a ninja secret of a fearless woman, is to always be faithful to yourself and give yourself that time. I know if I would sleep even 1 or 2 days of not giving that space for myself, that self-love and that daily power routine in the morning, I would feel a bit off, because it's like I'm moving around but I'm not there kind of thing, if you know what I mean. Like there's no the awareness is like in, it's not even in the body, it's just the body moving, the body cooking and talking, and but there's not that divineness in there. It's just and so I've got to it's something that's just so part of my life. And so I encourage you, I lovingly encourage you. And if you want to learn about transformative journaling, how to change your life, you can watch the video, the Atomic Self-Love Project last week, last Sunday. I talked about it there. And if you are someone who really wants to go deep dive into your transformation, talk to me. Feel free to book in a breakthrough call and let's see how we can be aligned. I love you all. Thank you for coming back on take 2 from the Wi-Fi being broken. And I have thoroughly enjoyed this space tonight. And I am grateful for you. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week coming ahead. And I will say goodbye, good night. Love you all. I'm just reading the comments. Thank you, everybody. Hi, Phoebe. Thank you for your empowering words, Grace. God bless you too, Phoebe. Okay. Bye, everyone.